what's going on. Got this brisket flat right here. It's the lean part of the brisket. It's a small portion, it's like 2.5 pounds. I'm doing an Irish Brisket Stew. Yeah, St. Patty's Day is coming up. I figure I'd do something like this, because why not? It's probably gonna be pretty good. Pretty basic. I'm using the mirepoix, which is carrot, celery, onion, a little bit of garlic and some rosemary and some bay leaf when I throw it in the stew with some beef stock. And I'll walk you guys through this. I'll put all the ingredients down below so you guys can check it out. I'm gonna deglaze it with some Guinness beer to give it that richness. Just like everything else I do, pretty easy. So, oh, and also towards the end, I got these red potatoes right here. I'm not gonna throw them in like right when I start the stew because they're gonna be, you know, way overcooked. So probably the last hour, I'm thinking it's probably gonna take like 3.5 hours. So during the last hour, I'm just gonna dice these up and throw them in and let them cook. And when they're done, they're done. So I'm cutting this in half, put a little bit of salt and pepper on it and some garlic. Yeah, I just got some rubs sitting around. Salt, pepper, garlic. Gonna lightly season it, gonna sear it off in the pan, take it out and throw all the vegetables in there and then just cook it and I'll show you guys. If you wanted, I mean, what most people would do is cut this into cubes, cross section like that. But what I'm doing is I'm gonna try to leave this together as much as possible because when it cooks, when it's pretty much fall apart tender, I'm gonna take it out and shred it up and put it back in because that's the kind of texture I want with it. So check it out, guys. Brisket stew time, let's do it. All right, so because this piece of meat is pretty lean, I'm leaving some fat on there, but I'm getting all the major stuff off. And like I said at the beginning, we're just gonna trim this up with salt, pepper, garlic. And I am gonna just try to leave it as whole as possible, but I have to cut it in half because I have to sear it off in the pan. And you know, it's not big enough to put the whole thing in there, so I'm just gonna cut it in half, get a good sear on it, and then we'll work on the vegetables after that. So we got this easy process, one pot meal, got some vegetable oil going in the pot right here. What we're gonna do is sear some meat off, take it off to the side. Then we're gonna put all the veggies in there and sweat those down. You don't really wanna caramelize it, but you just wanna sweat them down. And then we're gonna add some flour in there to thicken up the sauce. And we're gonna deglaze it with some Guinness and some beef stock, and then we're gonna let it go for a while, probably 3.5 hours, I'm thinking. We're gonna see, and should be done after that. All right, so this whole time I was saying it was gonna take 3.5 hours to be done. And at this point, it's been 3.5 hours and it's just a little bit tender, the meat. So I'm cutting up the potatoes right here. So I'm figuring 1 more hour and we'll see where we're at. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be done by then. So I'm getting these potatoes cut up. Just let everything kind of hang out a little more. Then we're gonna take the meat out and shred it up, and we should be good after that. All right, so obviously the brisket would have cooked way quicker if I would have cubed it up, but I wanted that shredded texture like I was talking about. So the way I was able to tell how it was close to getting done is you just get a fork and you stick it in, and when it starts to go in pretty tender, just give yourself another hour, and then no matter what, it's gonna be able to shred up. So you're just gonna have to go by feel and just kind of feel it out. So we're gonna get the lid back on this and then let it go for another hour like I was talking about, and then it'll be ready to shred up. Man, that is pure comfort food right there. And it's too bad I don't have any like bread or anything to go with this. It would go perfect, I think. Like, you know, a big old piece of toast would go pretty good, but I thought it would take like 3.5 hours. It took like 4.5 actually, but yeah, so if you're one of these people that's like super obsessed about traditional stuff, like what's a traditional Irish stew? I mean, I probably should have done some more research on it, but I'm pretty sure it's with lamb, you know, some cubed up lamb. You do the same way you just use with beef, but everybody loves beef, so I just use beef. I know this ain't no authentic Irish stew, but I'm half Irish and I made some stew. So in my book, it's Irish stew. So peace out, guys. Thank you.